USC gym location supporting those affected by the fires in the LA area. First responders and the residents get free access to shower, recharge, and relax at 8 different locations, including Rosemead, Torrance, Corona, Huntington Beach, and Costa Mesa.
You don't understand. But every year we have fires in California. Every year we have a pandemic. It's the reason why. You just don't understand. But why are you panicking? We have more multi-millionaires in history than ever before. So it's easy to make money nowadays. It's easy to make money nowadays. So just don't allow these people to get in your head, man. Life is good.
T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas has no event scheduled on Saturday the 18th, and maybe the Anaheim Honda Center will work if they don't have anything scheduled. Talking about possibly moving UFC 311 due to the fires. Aiden Ross doing a stream with Islam Makhachev on Saturday, 1 week before his fight with Arman Sarukian.
Saturday, locked in the stream. Aiden x Islam, one of the greatest UFC Russians. If you know, you know. Aiden x Islam is locked in for Saturday, all right? As you guys know, the following week is probably the biggest UFC event. Tweet out the poster right now. Okay, send it to me, kid. I don't even have the fucking poster, kid. How did you pull that? Dude, you guys sometimes think I'm this fucking useless shit. I don't know. It's gonna be amazing.
Arman was the second most tested UFC fighter in 2024. Number 1 was Kayla Harrison with 13. Then Arman and Connor had 11. Arman's looking like this before his fight, so they're going to continue testing him a lot. Looking in great shape ahead of his fight with Islam Makhachev. So far this year, they've tested 6 fighters. Arnold Allen, Daniel Santos, Fares Ziam, who's fighting on February 1st against Mike Davis. Jared Cannonier, who is fighting against Gregory Rodriguez next. You also got Nikita Krylov with 1 test. And Sam Patterson with 1 test as well. Actually, more people have just been tested now, and Ali Aquinta is a name that stands out. He hasn't fought since 2021. He got knocked out by Bobby Green in his last fight. He's a former challenger for a vacant title. He fought against Habib for the vacant lightweight belt. Merab Dvalishvili's team thinks the last 15 minutes of the fight with Umar is where he's going to shine. His coach thinks that Umar won't be able to keep up with Merab's relentless pace. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds, I think it's going to be Merab's fight. I expect a hard couple of rounds, but I also expect Merab to do what he does best and take over. He weaponized his cardio quite well. He's going to try and do that against Umar. Umar did not get tired in his 5-round fight with Sandhagen, but it's a much different style of fight with Merab. Umar's takedown accuracy is 50%. His takedown defense is 100%. Guess guys don't even bother trying to take him down, but Merab will. He does attempt a lot of takedowns. His takedown accuracy is 36%. His takedown defense is 80%. Merab Dvalishvili turned 34 today. Last week, Umar Nurmagomedov turned 29. So there's a 5-year age gap between the two. As long as Merab isn't 35 or older, then he won't be victim to that curse where fighters between the weight class 125 and 170 who are champions are 2-32 in championship bouts. Volkanovski fell victim to that last year against Tupuria. Pantoja's looking to break that curse later this year. Jake Matthews versus Francisco Prado has been added to UFC 312 in Sydney, February 8th. So that's the 13th fight on this card. That may have completed the card, and it feels a little bit more like a fight night card than a pay-per-view, aside from the top 2 fights. In the main event, you have DDP versus Strickland for the middleweight title. It's going to be a close and competitive fight again. The loser will be very upset about the decision and complain about it. Co-main event, strawweight championship, Weili Zhang versus Tatiana Suarez. Big stat that stands out is 25-3 versus 10-0. 18 more fights for Weili Zhang. A lot more experience against top-level competition as well. That, in addition to the skill set, gives her an edge in this one. But some people are picking Suarez. Saruya versus Nickel, 10-0 versus 8-1. Sal Kill versus Jubilee, 7-1 versus 7-1. Virtually identical. Talishin Teixeira undefeated against Justin Tafa, 7-4. It's going to be a striking battle. Tom Nolan versus Vyacheslav Borshev, also a striking battle. Jack Jenkins versus Gabriel Santos. Cody Haddon versus Alexander Topuria, 8-1 versus 5-1. Topuria has a lot of hype because of his last name and his skill set. Wang Kong versus Bruna Brazil. Despite losing her last fight, Wang Kong is still a very dangerous striker. Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bilato. Undefeated Cody Steele versus Rong Zhu. Kevin Jusset versus Jonathan McKellov. And Jake Matthews versus Francisco Prado. So it feels a little bit more like UFC Fight Night Sydney than UFC 312. Usually there's more star power on the cards for pay-per-views, but what are your thoughts on this card? Let me know in the comments. Duel Razak Al Hassan, 6-0 undefeated when he scores a knockdown. He's taking on Cesar Almeida on Saturday. Almeida's a tremendous kickboxer. Has a win over Alex Pereira in kickboxing. Fought him 3 times. His first 3 kickboxing fights were against Alex Pereira, which is kind of crazy. So it'll be an interesting fight on Saturday. Al Hassan can be a wildly aggressive striker, which is very entertaining. I don't know if he's going to be more calculated against Almeida, but when he gets in there, that's just how he fights. So it'll be interesting. Karate Combat trying to set up Uriah Hall versus A-Node. Uriah Hall is down, but he wants it all or nothing. He says, woke up to this, okay, winner gets $100,000 and the loser gets nothing. Hexagon MMA doing a show in France on Saturday. Don't know if these guys want to stare down or make out, but this is their face-off.
L'ancien, c'est la retraite, l'ancien. T'as plus l'ancien, l'ancien, c'est la retraite, l'ancien.
Tu vas voir c'est qui.
Avec son EHPAD.
Tu vas voir. Tu ramènerais ta planète. Merci. Tu ramènerais ta planète. Quand je vais t'outer, je te tu vas voir. Merci.
Il est mort, l'ancien, demain. Attention, il est mort demain. On est là. Moins de 77 kilos. Avec tous les gars.
Allez messieurs,
Face à face.
photos.
Christophe, on a redemandé, mais ce sera demain les explications lors de vérité.
Jimmy Rivera is a former UFC fighter, a BKFC fighter, a GFL fighter, and also a police officer.
I just want to say thank you, Newton PD, was able to get me through that little makeshift right through the branches woods and get home. Hopefully tomorrow morning I don't have to do that again and they come out, JCP and out, and get rid of that tree.
Concussion. I used to play rugby. I've been knocked out on the field a couple of times, you know.
That explains a lot.
You know.
Yeah.
And so